My name's Jason Kingsley. I'm the CEO and creative director of Rebellion and a producer on Judge Dredd Mega City 1.
I'm Brian Jenkins. I'm the producer of Mega City 1 and I worked for him.
Brilliant. So, I mean, I guess the kind of first question really is like, how has it come around and kind of why now? Because a lot of people have kind of questioned it coming out of nowhere. As much as people
trust me, it hasn't come out of nowhere. It's come out of lots of work that we haven't talked about yet. It's weird, isn't it? People talk about overnight successes, and they haven't. They've been, working very hard for the last decade to try and become a success. So it's broadly similar for us. We've been trying for a long time to get TV series going, and we found the right business partner in IM Global and the right team, Brian being one member of the team, and it's sort of it's all come together to actually go somewhere now. We've had plans before, but nothing really ever kind of got past the starting point. How would you?
I think when I came to see you originally, we sat down and we talked about it, and it was very much the first conversation we had, and it's been something like Jason says, it's been in the pipeline for a while. It was just putting together the right people in order to get it moving, and we've been really lucky so far in the sense that those sort of pieces of those puzzles have just sort of fallen into place.
Yeah, so far it's been relatively not straightforward, but we haven't had too many disasters along the way yet. Well, I mean, there's plenty. I shouldn't have said that, should I? Because now, guess what's going to happen? Yeah, but
yeah, it's been good. It's been really exciting so far. I mean, creating story.
There's a long way to go yet. Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons we've sort of announced it is because we want people to know we're working on this, and we want people to support us along the journey. But we've got quite a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of work to do. We've got scripts to write, and we've got people to cast, and places to sort out. So pretty much everything is yet to be done, but we're quite a long way from the start point now.
Yeah. So I mean, in kind of you saying it's a long time coming. I mean, when was this kind of thought of, and then till now, what kind of time frame has that happened?
You've always
in 1977, I was walking back from a chip shop after school, and I bought my first copy of 2000 AD that didn't have Judge Dredd in it, but Judge Dredd came in the next week, and it was at that moment that I decided that we would make a telly show. Of course, I was quite young at the time, and I didn't have an infrastructure around me. No, but in all seriousness, 2000 AD has been part of my life for as long as I can remember, and therefore there's never a point where we went, that's a good idea, let's do some Judge Dredd television. It's always been one of the things that would be great to do. But now the circumstances are such that we've got a big successful company around us, and we've got the right people, and the timing's right now. So it's just very exciting.
I read I think it was an interview you did with SFX magazine, that you guys think it's probably going to be about 2 years, potentially longer.
I say that, but basically we don't know, but 2 years is a kind of a good guesstimate, and it is only a guesstimate.
Yeah, I mean,
it might be 3.
2 years till it gets on the screen, or
well, I don't know. I'm just making up a number, really.
But no, the point is that I think people expect TV and film to be just one of these processes that boom, it's just on the telly. But there's a lot of we went through the development stage, which we're still in at the moment. Then you've got to go into pre-production, which is where everything's made, sets are built, actors are hired and stuff like that, and then you move into filming it. So it's a massive process, and this isn't a small series. This is 13 episodes.
It's a big job.
So that is
13 episodes is what we're rolling.
You're planning to do it.
Yeah, we're looking at 13 episodes.
This is big. This is high budget, high production values. There'll be really interesting actors involved. Lots of special effects and CGI.
And we're looking, and we want to keep it as true to the comic reality as possible. So we're looking at creating city. We're looking at trying to look at how the vehicles are and introduce new vehicles into the series.
A little bit of the fashion of the background characters, and there's all sorts of cool stuff, and all of it needs making. I mean, drawing is one thing, but actually making the thing and making it work is another.
And it's all very well us just sort of sitting there going, big blocks, big tower blocks everywhere, and like some megways and stuff like that there. But we want to make it so when you're introduced to the city, you'll see, this wondrous, whole of East Coast laid out in front of you, sort of thing. So
it has to be plausible as well, because we've got real people in it. So in a comic book, you don't necessarily have a person going from A to B. You can sort of jump cut, as it were, to it. But in our when you're filming something for real with real people, as opposed to just being pure CGI, you do have to have a kind of reality to the landscape. We have to have the city bottom. We have to have the sort of pedways and skedways and all sorts of stuff. And it's got to work and be a coherent whole. So there's it's an exciting project, but it's actually a very big project as well.
Right. Yeah. I mean, as big as the city, surely.
Yeah.
Massive.
Well, that's why he's so big, you see. We needed a really big, strong producer to do it, you see. So that's why
going to fight the corner
exactly. Literally and metaphorically, yeah.
So, I mean, in terms of, you mentioned CGI, and you're talking about kind of building sets and having something tangible, building, like kind of city bottom and things like that. I mean, are you going for more of a blend between practical and CG? Are you leaning more towards one thing than the other, or?
Well, it's all up for discussion really at the moment. We are looking into all of that at the moment. My feeling is that it needs to be grounded in reality, but then we also need to have the fantastical in there as well, and the crazy stuff. So like the recent Dredd movie was very grounded. It could almost have been the day after tomorrow kind of setting. I think we've got to capture some aspects of that, but I think I want to go a little bit further and make it a bit more kind of classically the Big Meg itself.
So I'm glad you said that, because when I heard the news, I'm a massive fan of 2000 AD anyway in general, but then the Dredd film was fantastic. It was a really, really good film. And as much as what they did was, the portrayal of Dredd was like spot on, but the city itself, as grounded as it was brilliant. If you compare to The Sly, and if you were to kind of get a seamless blend of the two, I think you've then got something which is what I would consider near perfect.
But we're actually going back to the original material. So we're talking to John and Carlos. We're talking to some of the new wave artists and writers as well. And we're going back to the source material, which is the comics. Let's face it. And we've got to then build up from there. But acknowledging the fact that the Stallone movie exists and has its own, and acknowledging that the Dredd movie exists, but we're not doing sequels to either of those. We're doing our own production.
Yeah, and the thing is going back to your other question, you said looking at, is it going to be a mixture, is it going to be CGI, or is it going to be a mixture of models and effects and live action stuff? We very much love the idea of being able to blend in real practical looking effects with the CG element. I mean, for me, good CGI is stuff that you just don't realise is CG elements. But having something like practical effects, like having actual city sections made or blocks and stuff like that, having models of part of the city made, and then incorporating that into CG elements is, I think, the best way for us to go with.
Trying to get the best.
Out both
screen.
So, in terms of like your, have you been doing any market research in terms of what the general populace is interested in seeing? Because I know you guys saying you want to do Megacity one, and you've got like an ensemble cast, or that's the plan anyway. Have you done any like market research? I guess.
Yes, we have.
I say market research.
But we've looked. We've looked into. I mean, look, the thing is people obviously love Judge Dredd. Okay, and by reading every single comment that's gone out there, okay, and I shouldn't be laughing because I was one of these people going, yeah, we want Judge Dredd, but we've got to be able to use the character in the right way. And what we're trying to do is. We've had this discussion countless amount of times, and I bring this up, but the city is the character.
The most interesting
It's
part.
One of the most exciting parts, and there's a whole numerous. It's almost like there's so many different characters living within that city.
Million potential.
It is exactly. So. And there's all these amazing characters, judges, and the simpy judges, and all that sort of stuff. And all the different bad guys and all the different mutants and stuff. And then there's the cursed earth. We would be. insane not to bring that into the mix, sort of thing.
We're not ruling anything out.
No, exactly.
And we're not ruling anything in. Well, we are, but we're not telling you about that. Yeah.
Well, we just can't at the moment.
We can't at the moment. It's far too early. But at the same time, it's a wonderful canvas on which to try and put a TV show together. We have to be mindful of the fans, people who know Judge Dredd and know that world and know Mega City 1 and have been with us for a long time. We've also got to be mindful of an audience that maybe isn't as familiar with Mega City 1 and what we're doing. And that's quite a complex balancing act.
I'm really glad you said that, actually, because I think pandering, I say pandering, but like doing fan service, and I guess it is pandering to fans, is potentially one of the worst things you can do, especially if you are trying to reach a wider audience. You need to acknowledge it, like you said.
Yeah, I take exception to the word pandering because fans are very important to us, and there are people that have read the comic and supported us as a company over time are incredibly important to us, and we have to listen to them. We want to listen to them, and we do like getting feedback. And the internet is filled with people with opinions. In fact, there are probably more opinions than there are people on the internet. You know. And that's important to us, but we've also got to be practical, and it's got to be a business. So we're not just making something for the hardcore audience. We will be making something for the hardcore audience. There'll be lots of components in there which, unless you've read the comic, you won't get, which is really exciting and fun, and we're putting those sort of things in the script and in the background. But we also want to convert people into being readers of 2000 AD and fans of Mega City 1, because we don't want to just make one season. We want to be making multiple seasons. We want to be making spin-off shows as well. So there's a whole landscape.
You just told me about the spin-off shows.
Well, yeah, we want to. We like them.
No, we keep that in. That's fine. That we can get away with. But I mean, it's like, now Jason's right. I mean, look, you've got a core audience, okay, which are the 2000 AD fans, and you've also got just as strong as the urban Dredd fans, and so you want to be able to make sure that they're excited by what you're doing, but also you need to be able to open it up, as Jason said, to people that have never heard of it before. Because like with anything, I think, the movie Dredd, for what it was, it opened up,
brand new fans.
loads huge fan base, So, what you don't want to do is alienate people, but at the same time, you want to be able to give people that have never heard of it before a reason to watch the show and be excited by it. So you want to grow with characters, and that's, I think, is the important thing, is when they see it for the first time, we want them to go, okay, I need to see the next episode.
I mean, that's kind of...
Or the spin-off.
Well, that's been one of the main questions from a lot of people, was whether you guys have plans to kind of adapt, well, I say spin-offs, but more of actually the other characters, so like Rogue Trooper or the ABC Warriors. Like that.
Do we have plans? Well, we're not announcing anything, but Rebellion's got a big library of intellectual property. We've got big computer games as well, don't forget. The Zombie Army series, Sniper Elite series. There's a whole bunch of stuff we've got here, and all the Abaddon books. There's no shortage of intellectual property here, and now
we have a slate.
Yeah, we are. We have a production company now set up with professionals working on it, and we're I don't know, somewhere allegedly, and we are we've got lots of ideas, and who knows. Who knows what will happen? If this is successful, I imagine we'll be doing a lot more.
So I guess you've titled it Judge Dredd Mega City 1, and you said obviously that the city is the main character, and that's the main kind of draw on the interest in the world itself. Do you have plans to use the character of Judge Dredd to a high degree, or is it kind of like a fleeting visit here and there throughout each?
I can answer this one. Okay.
It's quite a tricky one.
It is a very tricky question. We would be insane not to have Judge Dredd appearing in the series, and I'm not
self-evidently not insane.
No, we haven't been certified yet, but he's an important character. What do you mean? I am. The thing is that he's an important character. He's been on he's been in the forefront of the Mega City 1 series in the comics and stuff, and he needs to be in the series.
He'll feature heavily.
He will be there,
but it isn't a story about. It isn't just about Judge Dredd.
It isn't his story per se.
Yes and no.
Should we just make noises?
The thing is, it's an ensemble cast deliberately because we need to see character development and characters changing. Dredd is kind of arguably kind of he's much more nuanced than that. But yes, a lot of people see him as sort of one note, but I don't think he is. I think he's actually quite complex but very deep. But yeah, Dredd will feature heavily, but it isn't exclusively about Dredd. It's probably the best way of
That's the greatest way of it.
Yeah.
Plus, not only that, if we featured Dredd in it, it would just break the internet.
Yes.
That would happen.
Yeah.
The world would implode.
Well, if we didn't feature Dredd.
If we didn't feature him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think people would be more confused about the title.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The thing is, he is in it.
There is a clue.
Yeah. And we could say a whole load of things, but just look at the T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know. So there you go.